Susie Beiersdorfer, and I have lived in Youngstown, Ohio, Mahoning County for 27 years. I'm a teacher, a geologist, and I was a mudlogger in the oil and gas fields of California in the 1980s. My experience with the ODNR's Division of Oil and Gas began in 2011 when our area began experiencing earthquakes, later to be proven to be caused by the injection of fracking fluids into the DNL North Star 1 Class 2 injection well. It was found that the operators had been injecting above the pressure limit permitted by the ODNR. We came to learn that the ODNR was not prepared for the fracking boom, unresponsive to citizen concerns and requests, biased towards industry, and delinquent in its duties of permitting, regulating, and monitoring through regular on-site inspections. We also learned that Ohio was given primacy by the US EPA for the UIC program for Class 2 wells in 1983. I begin with the 2011 Youngstown earthquakes. The first felt earthquake was in March 2011, and over the next 7 months, more felt earthquakes, as well as hundreds of non-felt earthquakes, occurred. For many months, the ODNR brushed off citizens' concerns and denied any connection between these earthquakes and injection activity. With several scientists among our local group, we knew that the well could not be implicated as the source of the earthquakes without further scientific data, though the timing and location certainly made the North Star 1 suspect. In November of 2011, Columbia University set up seismometers and found that North Star 1 was indeed the source of the earthquakes. After confirmation in another earthquake on Christmas Eve of magnitude 2.7, the well was shut down by governor's orders on December 30th. On December 31st, an earthquake of 3.9 magnitude occurred and was felt from Canada to Kentucky. The New Year's Eve quake caused some damage to structures and numerous cracks in walls, concrete, and foundations all over the region. On January 11th, 2012, a public meeting with over 800 participants, national media, was hosted by Youngstown officials and officials from the ODNR. While angry residents wanted answers about the cause of the earthquakes, earthquake damage and insurance, and what was going to be done to stop the earthquakes, the ODNR presented a totally irrelevant PowerPoint presentation on the history of oil and gas in Ohio, while trying to assure the audience that everything was under control and there was no need to worry. The crowd vehemently disagreed. This is just one of many ODNR dog and pony shows that I have attended. There was an ODNR preliminary report on the seismic events from the North Star 1 released in March 2012, but to my knowledge, a final report was never released. Shortly after, the ODNR proposed new rules regarding injection wells, which included mandatory seismic monitoring. There was also a rule that, quote, requires the installation of an electronic data recording system for purposes of tracking all fluids brought by a brine transporter for injection. Unfortunately, this rule has never been implemented, for if it had been, it may have prevented the owner of the North Star 1 well from illegally dumping about 250,000 gallons of toxic radioactive fracking waste into the Mahoning River between September 2012 and January 2013. The dumping was discovered in February of 2013, and while the company's spokesman denied any involvement and promoted the safety practices of the company, a Tuesday, February 13th Vindicator article described the company practices and that investigations in 2012 revealed that DNL has a history of at least 120 violations at 32 injection and extraction wells across Ohio. Back to the seismic concerns, my late husband, Dr. Ray Beiersdorfer, geology professor at YSU, compiled a table of human-induced earthquakes in Ohio that were within the parameters to be reported, but never were reported by the ODNR website. He also showed that though they claimed to address limitations to locations for new injection wells, there were numerous inconsistencies and inaccuracies. In September of 2015, after repeated back and forth emails, Steve Irwin, Public Information Officer of ODNR, said, and I quote, "As you may know, the recent US EPA Region 5 report on Ohio's Class 2 injection well program praised the division as a leader in terms of addressing seismic potential during the review of permit applications and well operations." Now, also included in the North Star 1 rules was that it needed to be plugged within 60 days after it was shut down. Well, it was shut down on December 30th, 2011. And it expired, a permit to plug it expired on June 6, 2019, and it was recently labeled an orphan well. There's an April 2021 article about that. And so the patterns of avoidance, non-response, denial, and incompetence continue. I have centered my testimony to the Youngstown area, but know of many more incidents that demand that Ohio's primacy over the Class 2 wells be revoked, as the ODNR division has been egregiously inept in protecting the natural resources. Thank you for your time and consideration.